Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the all-new Yukon Denali Ultimate. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and link to the National GMC here in American Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Denali. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, need any help, just ask for David. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 18 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting with the hood, you guys can see this raised there on either side, and I think with the black paint, it looks pretty cool. We've got the distinctive C-shaped daytime lights, and then you guys can see LED headlamps. Notice we got the fog lights down below, parking sensors here on the front end, and then look at the GMC logo, how that is darker in coloration, and the entire grille is blacked out as well, just to make this look sportier. Putting it all together, it kind of has like Escalade type vibes with how dark all of the trim is. Come around the side here, tire wheel setup is 275, 50, 22 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the wheel design, this is specific to the Denali Ultimate. And I think with all the colors and the finishes, it's quite intricate, but it looks good. And then this does come with air suspension as well. You can kind of see the canister. We got our GMC badge here on the side, Denali down below. And then you guys can see with the darker trim right there and then also around the door handles. But then it's like bright silver there at the top. However, putting it all together, I think that it looks pretty sweet. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, a remote start, the opening here for the hatch, and then just for the glass. And we'll press this a couple times and it'll pop it open. And then notice the GMC logo there on the back. Now, actually popping into the rear, this is the regular version of the Yukon. You can also get the XL with the Denali Ultimate, which would obviously give you quite a bit more storage behind the third row. But this is still pretty spacious behind the third row. Now, you'll notice that we also have an outlet back here. We've got these controls to fold down the second row. With the third row, you can fold them down and raise them up. And the thing that I love about the GMCs is it's quite fast. Got the seatbelt with that one. With like the raise and the lower function. I mean, look at that. That's just a matter of seconds. A lot of other vehicles, it's like 3 years later and then it's up or down. Anyways, when you're all done, just press this and that will lower the hatch right back down. We got these C-shaped taillights here on the back end, then you guys can see GMC, and then Yukon Denali. No Denali Ultimate badge, though. Anyways, towing capacity, 8,000 pounds, payload, 1,377 pounds. And then I like the exhaust tips. I think they look pretty sporty. And putting the rest of the back end together, I do love the look of this. Again, for a big, boxy SUV, I think they did a good job. Now, taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, really nice leather trim here, and then look at the wood trim, and then the brown leather with the cross-stitch design. That looks fantastic. Speaker for the high performance series Bose sound system, which looks great. And there's plenty of storage in the door panel too at the bottom. And then you guys can see the seats in the Ultimate, and look at the design right here, and then the cross-stitching, and then it's perforated all down the center portion. That looks great. You've got the adjustments here on the side to like fold it down, for example, if you want. Another Denali logo, and then power side steps. Legroom back here is actually really solid. We got a little storage pocket, and we got more Denali mountain map action basically happening. That's pretty cool. It's like topographical. Anyways, we've got some cup holders here. We have our own climate zone here in the back with heated seats and a bunch of charging ports. And we also have TVs here in the back as well. And then headroom back here is also great. Now, being in Yukon means we have really good legroom here in the back. And you guys can see the little control here on the side. Now, I got some cup holders, and then I find this funny. We have like this little bit of padding here for your arm for the back passenger. And then we have a USB port too. And then I want to mention the third row seats are just as nice as the second row. Still have the like topographical features here on the seat, which looks really cool. And then again, perforated all down the center. And then headroom's also great back here. Now, with the front door panel, you guys can see again really nice leather trim, and look at the wood trim and the silver trim below that. We've got our door lock and unlock function, and then again the cross-stitch design. All of our window controls here, memory seat function too. Front two windows are automatic. We've got your power folding mirror function, and the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring if you're wondering. And then tons of storage here on the door panel, and again another speaker for that Bose sound system. Yes, we have the funny bug-looking headrests. I mean, look at these headrests. We got a TV on the back, we got speakers on the front. There's a lot happening. Anyways, look at the Ultimate plaque right there. It's the only one that I think is in the interior, other than the other seat, obviously. Anyways, perforated all down the center portion, and then we've got all of our adjustments here with your massage function, Denali right there. And then the pedals actually look pretty fancy. Now I've got a lot of controls in this section here, so bear with me for a moment. Parking brake, this is for your 360 camera system, stability control, hill descent control, parking sensors, your auto stop start, your parking assist, lane departure. Those are the controls for the heads up display. That's your steering wheel adjustment, which is power. You've got your trailer brake controls integrated into this section. All of your light controls right here with the fog lights. We've got a drive line select. This has 4-wheel auto, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low. Your drive mode select. And then we also have the adjustment for the air suspension. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see Denali there in the center. Really nice leather trim all around, and then I like the dark gray trim down below. Radio controls here on the back. We also have controls for the center stack, voice command, phone controls. This does come with cruise control, and then you guys can see the steering assist. And yes, this does also come with Super Cruise as well. So on the highway, this will basically drive for you. I tested it out in an Escalade, and it's pretty cool where you basically turn the turn signal. It'll change lanes for you. Like, it's a pretty cool system when it's working. I do need to mention that it can be kind of finicky. And then here is the center gauge cluster, fully digital here, and we can scroll through different menus here in the center to see different bits of info on like the vehicle, navigation, all that fun stuff. And then off to the side, we've got our drive mode select, and also lets you know what part of the drive line you're in. So right now we're in 2-wheel drive. But anyways, with drive modes, we have a sport mode, shows Yukon on a racetrack. We got an off-road mode, and then we have a tow haul mode as well, and the suspension will adjust based on the modes. And then speaking of suspension, we can also adjust it. It actually shows up here. You have the maximum ground clearance, which you have to be in 4-wheel low for, increased, and then you got normal ground clearance, and then entry exit as well. Now in reverse, we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and this does have GM's full 360 camera system. So I mean, there's so many different angles that you can see out of with the Yukon, which is fantastic. So it makes parking this behemoth of an SUV very easy. Now as for the rest of the infotainment screen, we've got a shortcut bar here on the side, and then you guys can see with the screen itself, response time is really good. It does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can access stuff like the cameras. You can also turn on the rear media if you want from the infotainment screen, so it's cool with all the usability. Really nice leather trim here at the top, again with that cowhide texture that you guys can see down below. I think it looks fantastic. And then look at the wood trim here on the dash. That also looks very nice, and it actually leads us into our next portion, which is the transmission selector. So it's a bunch of buttons and pull tabs. It does take a second to get used to it, but once you do, it makes sense. And then this is like your manual mode right here. But back to park. Now we've got our analog controls here for the infotainment system and the radio, our dual zone climate controls here for the front, and you can also control the rear climate from the front. Heated and ventilated seats up front. Again, they are massaging for the driver and the passenger too. And then below this little wood thing, we've got our wireless phone charging pad and some charging ports. But then you can just, boom, with that. And I think the wood trim looks great. And then you have this that covers up the cup holders, which is kind of interesting how that functions. And then really nice leather trim here on the side. A little bit of storage down there. Hopefully you can kind of see. And then look at the center console. This also looks very nice. Decent storage inside of that as well. I love the cross stitching and everything. I think that's also great. And yeah, look, I mean, everything's like covered in leather except for the front of the glove box. That's not. Anyways, glove box, pretty normal setup right there. And look at the edge of the wood trim right there. It's looking kind of topographical to me. Now up top we have a full panoramic sunroof, which is a nice luxury feature to have. Some controls for the hatch, the seats to lower them down, universal garage opener, and then just the controls there for the sunroof as well. So here's our window sticker for this 2023 Yukon Denali Ultimate. First off, you guys can see with the warranty information right there. And then notice we have the Magna Ride as standard, limited slip differential, and air ride. All of those are standard on this with equipment. But most everything actually is standard on this package, frankly. Base MSRP is $94,555. Super Cruise is a $2,200 option. And then you guys can see the trailer monitoring. And then I guess this black paint's also more an option. Anyways, $99,195. Well, it's not $100,000. It's under $100,000. This makes it affordable. Anyways, that is the Yukon Denali Ultimate. Let me know what you guys think about it.